Hey, what's up? This is Thiago Titan. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This video is a champion guide of Walking Tomb Dreng, a fragment fusion champion from the Knights Revenant faction, and he has a very high base HP, 23,000. It's really good. Good defense, speed is okay, and 50 resist, accuracy 0. It doesn't need any accuracy, you will see. But let's take a look at his skills. His A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on the target after attacking. His A2 attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted. This is the best part, this debuff cannot be resisted. So this is why Walking Tomb Dreng doesn't need any accuracy, because his debuff cannot be resisted. He has a 75% chance. When booked, he has 100% chance. And 4 turns cooldown will be a 3 turn cooldown when booked. And this is an amazing kill. AoE HP burn that cannot be resisted. It can be very useful in many locations in the game. His A3 equalizes the HP of all allies, then attacks one enemy. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with highest HP. The attack will ignore 30% of the target's defense if the target's current HP is equal or lower than this champion's current HP. Will decrease the cooldown of the Exalted Fire. Exalted Fire is his A2, his HP burn AoE skill. Kill by 1 turn if the current HP is higher than this champion current HP. So if the target has higher HP than Walking Tomb Dreng, and every time he uses his A3 ability, the cooldown of his A2 will be reduced by 1 turn. And this is very good. It will happen mostly against bosses, because they have higher HP, very higher HP than any other champion. His 3 turn cooldown can be a 2 turn cooldown thanks to this skill. 5 turn, it will be a 4 turn cooldown when booked. His passive reflects 30% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker if this champion has 50% HP or more. Deals 30% more damage instead if this champion has less than 50% HP. And his aura, it's very good aura, increases ally HP in all battles by 30%. So Walking Tomb Dreng is a good champion. I won't say he's a very good champion, but he is a good champion. And I'm going to show you now in battle where he can be more useful. The first place I want to show you Dreng is in Doom Tower against Frost Spider. Whenever the Frost Spider has no HP burn, its defense and resistance will be increased. So this is a good place to use Dreng, because it doesn't need any accuracy and there's no problem the Frost Spider having more resistance. And then once the HP burn debuff is placed, it's easier for any other champion to place other debuffs. There's a few problems here. Dreng's A1 will activate instantly the HP burn, and that will make the HP burn debuff expire fast, and the Frost Spider will lose it. So again, we must place it. The problem is we have a long cooldown, we have a 3 turn cooldown, and we have to wait to place another HP burn. One thing we can do is we can bring a debuff extended champion like V0 Valleys or Narma the Returned, so they can extend the HP burn debuffs and they will not expire. Or we can bring another HP burn champion. Dragster Bloodwind can be a good choice. He plays HP burn through his passive every time he is attacked. So if the spider still have an HP burn, 1 turn, we can say 1 turn HP burn, and attacks, Dragster can place the HP burn without needing that high accuracy, because the Frost Spider still have the old HP burn before attack. It's a good strategy. So another HP burn champion or a debuff extender, and it's very important because at the end of the battle we want the Frost Spider to be burned, because if it's not burned it will revive and we have to start all over again. But even having these small problems, I believe this is one of the best locations to use Walking Tomb Dreng. Not only in Frost Spider, but also through all the stages going up the Doom Tower, especially the last stages. We need a lot of accuracy, and it can be good to use a champion like him. He doesn't need any accuracy to place these HP burn debuffs. It can be very useful in battle. Another location where Walking Tomb Dreng can be very useful is in the Hydra. AoE HP burn without needing any accuracy. It can be really useful here. And also he can instantly activate them in his A1. It can be good because here we have the Head of Decay that can cleanse all debuffs from all heads, if not under provoke debuff. And if we activate the debuffs, the HP burn debuffs quickly, it can be very useful. Also, his A3 is a very good skill here. HP equalizing, it's very good. Doesn't count as a healing, and Head of Decay decreases our champion's max HP every time we heal. So this doesn't count as a healing, and our champion's HP, max HP won't be decreased. And it can be a massive healing. The HP will be equalized to the champion with higher HP. It can be him, Dreng, it can be another. But if at least one champion has his HP bar higher, very high, the others will have a good healing. If everyone has a low HP bar, it won't be a big heal. They will be equalized, but they will all still have low HP. So this is why I equipped the Dreng with a lot of HP and defense. So here in Hydra, not only in Hydra but anywhere else, he can take a lot of hits and he won't lose much HP, so his HP will always be high and he can equalize everyone's HP. And I equipped him with 2 immortal sets to always have some healing every time he gets a turn. It's always a bonus. The only thing I don't like much about Dreng is his affinity. If he was a void affinity, it would be amazing because he wouldn't have any weak hits and he could place HP burn debuffs every time. Here you can see in this rotation we have 2 magic affinity champions, so he will have trouble to place HP burn on these heads. And it's not only here in the Hydra. Anywhere where he has affinity disadvantage, he will have trouble to place the HP burn debuffs. Doesn't matter if he has 100% chance, 150% chance, because if you have a weak hit, you will not place the HP burn debuffs, and that can be very annoying and can be a problem. Especially in the Spider's Den, I made a lot of tests that I didn't like that. In Spider 25, it's magic affinity, and Dreng misses a lot of HP burn debuffs. I don't think it's very good there in Spider 25. It can be useful in other stages where he doesn't have affinity disadvantage, and he must be fully booked because you don't want him to with 75% chance placing debuffs. You want him having 100% chance. And that's it. Dreng can be a good champion in the Hydra. The only problems are affinities. If he has a weak hit, he won't place the HP burn debuff. But it can be useful here for all his skills. His A1 to activate instantly the HP burn is good because we have the Head of Decay that can cleanse everything, so we can activate them immediately before that head cleanse all the debuffs. And his A3 can be very useful to equalize HP. If one of the champions has a very high HP, can be him, but if everyone has a low HP bar, it won't be a healing, it will be nothing. And I almost forgot, his aura is very good too. It's a 30% aura for all battles. It's always useful. And this is how I equipped my Walking Tomb Dreng with 2 immortal sets and 1 resilience. You can see his total stats, 108,000 HP, very high, also very high defense, high speed, and I didn't give him crit rate or crit damage. I wanted him to be more focused on debuffs and his HP equalizing, not so much in damage. These are the masteries I gave him. Thinking about bosses, the recommended artifacts are Immortal, Resilience, Speed, Regeneration 2 can be good to heal, Lifesteal so we can heal and always keep a high HP bar, so his A3 ability, HP equalizer, will be better because if he has higher HP everyone else will have 2. And Stalwart to decrease incoming damage from AoE attacks by 30%. His priority stats are HP, defense and speed. Resistant, it's optional if you want to, so we can resist a few debuffs. And crit rate and crit damage too, it's optional too. If you want him to deal more damage, you can do it. The primary stats I recommend for the gloves are HP or crit rate, crit damage if you want to deal more damage. For the chestplate, HP, for the boots, speed or HP, HP or defense for the ring, HP crit damage for the amulet, and HP or resistance for the banner. Now some last few words about Walking Tomb Dreng. He's a good champion, as I said before. I don't think he's a very good champion. He can be a very good champion for early mid-game players, because you don't need to equip him with accuracy. It will be easier in the early stages of the game. It's hard to have accuracy banners, and he will help a lot in Spider's Den to help go through the stages without any accuracy to place HP burn in all those spiderlings. He will have trouble, of course, when he has affinity disadvantage. That's why I don't recommend him to be a Spider 25 farmer. Maybe Spider 24 it's okay, that he won't have problems, but still he will need books for his A2 to be consistent. 75% chance against the Spider Den, against all those spiderlings, it's useless. You will need 100%, because you will need every single spiderling to have an HP burn debuff, so you can farm Spider Den consistently. So this means 5 books here. If you're lucky, you will need only 5 books, but here it's good to more 3 books and more 3 books. 5, 3, 8, 11 books in this champion. Well, 11 is not that much, but it's very hard in early stages of the game to give this champion 11 legendary books. For the Frost Spider, he can be very good too, but he will need to be more effective. He will need a debuff extender or another HP burn champion. In the Hydra, his only problem will be the weak hits against some ads that have magic affinity. But overall, this is a good champion, and of course an AoE HP burn that doesn't need any accuracy. It can always be useful in the game. Let me know in the comments what you think about this champion. If you think he's better than I say, or worse, if you're going to use him, if you're going to book him. Don't forget to subscribe my channel if you like my content, and I will see you in the next video.